Hey, what's up, guys? Jeremy Marquez here with jmarqeting, power prospecting, cold call training. It's been a while since we've done one of these lives. We're going to go ahead and see how it goes and have a call with Neil Singerman. So give me a moment and I'll let this live roll while Neil finds his way to the room. All right, let's see where Neil is. Stand by, guys. We're just waiting on Neil. I am doing a live in my private group for the sole purpose of the recording. We're going to wait at least until 4:45. Got the game on. Got the ESPN on. Not a big deal. I have this time blocked out for Neil, so I'm just going to side task here until he shows up. So for this, we are using Google Hangouts, and we are sharing in the stream rather than using the Facebook Live. We're using the Google Hangouts. Just trying something a little bit different sometimes. Neil, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, Jeremy.
Give me a moment. Let me turn my fan off.
I don't know if I'm,
I just need to turn off my fan. How are you?
well, I'm hanging in there. I saw a lot of videos from you recently.
Oh man, it's time to get going again.
I don't like that background. I like the new background. Let me go back to there.
Oh man, I just
Okay.
you gotta invest in a tapestry and just keep it real.
Yeah, where you get that?
There's different places you can get them anywhere. They have them on Amazon. There's websites like Dress Lily. There's all sorts of different websites. You just search
Oh, yeah.
tapestry, wall
Oh, yes, it's
tapestry.
tapestry. Okay. I keep
Yeah,
that in
yeah,
mind.
yeah. I got that one, and I got this one here. You see that one?
I like that one.
Yeah, and then there's one above me too.
Yeah, well, that's nice too.
Yeah,
Okay,
just
so
just a little rather than putting
I'll
stuff
pick
on the
five of
walls, you
mine.
just get that, and you don't have to put anything in the walls.
I guess. I guess.
So,
Um,
update me with what's been going on since we spoke with your prospecting, with your business. Let's jump right into it. How are things going?
Honestly, I had a closing March 24th.
Okay,
It was a listing that I share with somebody. I'm working with somebody else.
okay,
So her and I shared the listing, and we got to the point where the lady wouldn't reduce the price. You know, you've taken listings that are just sit there, and the seller keeps on hoping that they'll get the price. Well, we got an offer, and then she basically, long story short, reduced the price $100,000, and we sold.
so what'd you sell? What'd you close on? What'd you close it for?
Well, we were at 1,525,000, went to 1,425,000, and why I'm looking down there.
So you split that about 700,000 gross. That's not bad. So what else you got going? You got anything else in the pipeline?
Not, we had another appointment, but the appointment just didn't go well. The guy was just too involved with the thing. We got like 2 words in the whole listing. He wouldn't let us talk. He kept on talking.
Okay.
He's interviewing 15 people, so we
Well,
decided, we don't want him.
okay. When you say we, are you guys both going on your appointments?
Yeah, we both go.
What? Who is it? A guy, gal? What's his or her name?
It's a gal. It's a gal I've known for about 20 years.
Okay.
She's very good.
So
She
are
actually
you?
said,
Is she prospecting as well, or are you just prospecting? Like,
no,
are you guys sharing everything? What's the setup?
she's the closer.
Okay. So you're setting it up, and you're going on the appointments, and she's wrapping it up.
Yeah, she
I
actually saved the listing because I was talking to the lady every week, and I just couldn't get her to do a price reduction. And
yeah.
little
Well,
my partner got the price reduction. Jared.
good. Okay. Well, how tell me about your prospecting. Let's focus on that rather than every. Tell me how much time are you spending every day? How much time? Just be transparent. Tell me what's going on.
Okay, so basically, I've been prospecting, calling expireds, I was calling for rent by owner, but just like you have found, hot pads. When they say it's going to be
Okay.
recorded, I know.
No. Stay one subject at a time. You've been hitting expireds. Let's talk about that.
Okay, I'm calling expireds.
There's not very many, huh?
Not late. Not no. I don't think I've hit my 200 for. I think the first I hit the 200.
I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Let's talk real talk here, Neil. All right. So,
Okay.
listen. We both know that right now there's not a lot of expired listings. The ones that are expired are usually crap. There's something wrong with the property. There's something wrong with the seller. Things that are decent and priced right are selling, right?
Correct.
So, I've come to a conclusion, and I'm sure you will be too soon. Yes, we're going to hit the expireds, but the ones that are there, not only are they getting pounded, but there's something wrong. If the property didn't sell, have you noticed that? I'm just trying to see what I've noticed. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I've noticed that in this market, as you know, as you've been prospecting and talking to your other realtors, anything goes on the market and it's priced competitively, the price goes up.
Exactly. So
And
pause right there. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get in, pick your brain, and you can pick my brain, so we can develop, start thinking about different avenues, and that's what I've been doing. Because here's the thing, guys like us have been feeding off of expired listings and for sale by owners for a long time, right?
yeah,
So
absolutely.
guys like us are also going to have to be able to transition because now there's not as many. There's not as many for sale by. I mean, let's just focus on expired. So there's not as many expired because, like you said,
Right.
the good stuff's going, and it will. And
Yeah,
and,
it's
and,
going right
and
away.
if it's expired, there's an issue, and so we don't want to spend too much time on it. Is what I'm getting at. So really, what this conversation is really going to be about here is finding out what you've been doing and kind of share what I've been doing and really just kind of focus on what we can do. And what we can control really is what it comes down to, man. It's going to come down to the geo leads, the just listeds, the just solds. It's going to come down to the foreclosures. It's going to come down to the for rent by owners, which all have their own issues, right? It's not no perfect world
Yes.
there, but if we're going to be prospecting and we're going to be going after listings, we just have to be able to do different stuff now. Of course, there might be some, like I had one expire today. It's probably going to be a deal, but it's going to be a slow play. But there may be an issue with it. Like it's going to be an appointment, but it's going to be a matter of if it's going to be, we'll see what happens. But really, the good stuff, what I'm noticing, is going to be other avenues. Like there's not very many for sale by owners either. If you notice that,
No, no. And they don't answer their phone either.
right?
That's the crazy part.
Well,
I try them and they don't answer their phone.
because those aren't the serious ones. Like the serious ones, those guys have already sold, or they were just smart about it and they just hired a realtor. Like people are just like they're getting it done these days because these properties are selling. And here's the thing: it's not going to be like this forever, um, you know. But
No.
but while it's like this, we can practice and we can get better on other stuff like the geo leads.
Okay.
We can practice and we can
Okay.
get better on other stuff like the for rent by owners. Even though most of them are hot pads, there are still some there.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, and the foreclosures, even if it's something you haven't done before or you've stayed away from, guess what? Now it's time to transition and start doing stuff that you haven't done before because of the fact that we don't have as many expireds and for sale by owners to eat on, right?
Right, right.
So now we have to get creative, and when I say we, I mean guys like us that are going to be hitting the phones, and that's our bread and butter. We need to figure out different avenues. We don't just stop. We don't just say okay, well I guess prospecting's done. No, no way. There's just different. We just got to do it different now. Um, have you heard of any ways to be able to get divorce divorce type leads, like when somebody's going to
Yeah,
file a divorce?
I have a source that I can get divorce leads.
How much time have you spent calling those? What do you know about them?
I haven't.
So I think it might be an avenue as well. Like what I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking creatively, like different avenues that other realtors may not be thinking yet.
No, it's very true. I know a guy that's in Texas. He's in one of my groups, and he's just calling. He's using the GeoLease and just calling income properties,
Exactly.
and just asking them if they think about selling.
It's a
very
business.
very easy script. It's
Listen,
probably
Neil. These what you just said, and we're going to talk about this. I think you'll be real good at them compared to the residential. See, here's the issue with residential. Expired, FISBO, GeoLead, whatever it is, these sellers, if they live there, they're emotionally attached.
agreed.
Now, that's nothing new. We've known that for years. However, there's other things we can do now. Like, I'm really good at like just a business conversation, just like a business to business compared to business to consumer.
Right.
Just being straight and just about the numbers, because these guys, just like the for rent by owners, these guys just care about the numbers. They don't care about anything else, right?
No, they don't. No, they just look at the numbers and they can move and so on. We thought we had a lead last week, but the guy went back to this old agent after it came out. It was expired, obviously.
Okay.
But,
Well, specifics. Let's just talk broad. Let's talk more. Let's talk more macro, more whole. Like really, we'll talk specifics later. But what I'm getting at is with the for rent by owners, with the income properties, with the multifamily units, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, right? And I know you may not have a lot of experience in that. However, these are business conversations. These guys, you straight up just say, "Hey, it's Neil with Rodeo Realty, giving you a quick call for whatever reason. We just sold a property down the road, or a property down the road just sold, or because the market's so hot, investors like yourself that own multifamily units are selling they're unloading and grabbing other properties. If the numbers made sense, would you consider selling? Or just say whatever it is you need to say. If the numbers made sense, would you consider selling? Well, blah, blah, blah. If the guy likes you, he's going to let you run on some numbers. You run the numbers, you shoot him a quick email, say, hey, when would be a good time to get on a call to go over these numbers? You email it over to him, you go over it, hey, and let him make a business decision. And if he's a business person, which he or she probably will be if they're talking to you still,
Absolutely.
if they're still on the phone, if they're still talking to you, they're going to look at the numbers and they're going to consider it if they're already that far committed, because that's all they're considering is how can they help their portfolio, right?
Right.
The only thing that they're concerned about is capital gains, and I don't know a lot about that, but that's for me when I transition it to my agents. But you would know more about that than me, right?
Uh, yeah, they just passed a law in California called Proposition 19.
Tell me about it.
And so, and the other thing, obviously, we can't give a legal or accounting thing. We always ask them to talk to their tax preparer.
Right.
But they should look into Proposition 19. That means if they're over a certain age, I think it's 55 or I think it's 55 or 60, that they can bring their gains. And so maybe they're doing a 10. She was worried about it. I heard the call. What about a 1031 exchange?
Okay, that's what I meant. Tell me about that. I don't know that part either.
Okay, so a 1031 exchange is that there's an arbitrator who does it. It's separate from a realtor, and they do the arbitration, and then basically they take their it has to be like to like, and then there's companies that do that, and basically they can avoid paying taxes on it. But
Okay.
I would read a little more, just have you thought about 1031 exchange? Maybe talk to your guy in Carl in the LA area, or whoever you're calling for.
Yeah. Well,
They would,
so what I'm also gearing. I mean, I'll figure it out. Like I'm not worried about it. Like once I start hearing that, once they tell me that, that's when I transition it to my agent. However, for you, what are your thoughts on potentially going after like because in Red X in the geo leads, you can go to the property. Like let's say you pull 100, 500 geo leads, just like in an area where it's mixed. You have single family, you have multi, you have commercial, and then you go to the property type, and you just select single family, you select duplex, you just basically take out the commercial crap, and then you have a list of decent stuff you can call on, and most of it is business type stuff. Most of it is going to be investors or apartment buildings, and you're talking to so I'm just trying to throw out there different avenues. Now that we don't have as many expireds and as many FSBOs, we just have to think outside the box and just do different stuff. And yeah, okay, maybe we're not well versed in it, but we know the result that we're trying to reach, and we know how to have a conversation. That's all it is, really, right?
yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I feel comfortable talking to the business people because it's easy. Because all they care about is just the numbers. They're
Right.
not emotionally attached to it. They're not making a move. It's just moving their building or equity to another building or
Right.
cashing out. And we sold one later last year. It was a duplex in the Beverly Wood area near Beverly Hills.
Okay.
And he was he was expired, but he was expired 3 times, and we sold him. So and the market, he wanted a ridiculous price, but we had to get him lower, but someone bought it.
Yeah.
And it was funny because he wanted me to send him a buyer. He wanted to be a for sale by owner. The guy was almost legally blind. He could not see.
So you guys were the fourth. You were the fourth agent.
We were he was listed 3 times with the same agent, and they couldn't sell it.
Gotcha. Would you do complete price reduction or what?
Well, no, we left it. We got a price reduction, and then we sold it. It was $1,050,000. That's what he wanted, but we ended up selling for $990 because that's.
Oh, whatever. That's only 50,000 less.
He got his money. That's
Yeah.
all I count.
Yeah,
he got
that's
more
good.
down too. He wanted his money and move on.
Well, so tell me, like for instance, just be. Are you in front of your Mojo right now?
I can be.
Yeah, pull your report up from last week. Let's just look at your stats. I don't need to look at them. You can. I want you to share. You can actually let's share your screen and let's take a look at it real quick.
Yeah, let me have him logged in. So.
Yeah, there's no rush. Let's get into that a little bit.
All right.
Let's see. What's today is Monday. I mean Tuesday the 4th. I think I think you have a credit for 3. Was it 2 or 3 weeks with me?
I 2.
I'm asking, is it 2 or 3 weeks that you have a credit with me?
I think it's 3.
Okay, so the 4th, which is today, the 11th, the 18th. And so is Tuesday a good day for you ongoing, or do you want to have a different day?
Yeah, Tuesday's okay. So where do you want me to go back? Do you want me to go back from last month or?
No, just pull up from the 26th to the 3rd.
Okay, let me go. Let me see if I can. All right, it's.
And hey, Neil, if it's crap, I don't care. I just want to know where you're at. Like this isn't no like oh 200 dials. This isn't like a month and a half ago. This is me, you and me, just trying to figure things out and getting you to a better level, you know, in this next 3 weeks, and then we can see where we are after that.
Okay, 26 to the 4th.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, let me get a session report. That'll probably help.
Yeah, I just want to because basically I want dial counts, things like that. When you want you to go over the numbers and then just see if I reckon see anything stands out to me. We'll see how it goes. Nothing too crazy. So
Let me go back to my Google Meet here.
thinking about coming down south next week, possibly.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
possibly be in Diego for a couple of days.
All right. So how do I forgot how do I do this? Do I go to?
Okay, so there's a button that says share or present now on the bottom right. Present now. I'll take myself out of the screen here.
Okay. So there it is. 809 dials.
All right, hold on. All right, so could you blow that up a little bit at all, or let me see if I can.
Let's see if I can do
I
that.
can probably take me out of here. There we go. Let's see.
Let me see if I can make that bigger. I don't know if I can.
Okay, why don't you just go over line the important? Let's see here. What's contacts? That's the number of contacts. 24.
24.
Okay. Okay. Bad numbers group. Where's the total dialed count? 809.
809. Yes.
Okay. How many days do we have?
That was.
That was a week and a.
Yeah, I called Monday through.
That was that was about a week from the 26th to the 3rd. So 800. Not bad. Okay. So you're averaging over 100 a day. So would you say that you've been dialing every day? That gives me a total right there. It doesn't show me daily. Have you been dialing every day, every other day? What have you been doing?
I can go into that if you want.
Yeah, give me a breakdown.
It shows that some days I went more. If I can scroll up, let's see if it shows.
So with the shortage of expires, what have you been really going after? Talk to me about that. The targets.
I've been calling the old that expired.
Old, yeah, okay, okay.
But I'm finding that a lot of them are obviously sold, and it's very difficult to
Come back.
I can't spend hours of figuring out if they sold the property or not. A lot of wrong numbers.
Well, and it's hard to hold. Let me pause you there. With old expires, I've noticed for myself at least, it's hard to come back. Like once you've opened up with like, hey, I was calling about the property that you were selling, and they say we've already sold it. It's hard to keep that call going. It's hard to transition them and say, okay, well, by then they're already getting off the phone. It's hard for me to convert them and say, hey, well, a home just sold down the road. So really, my thought is this, Neil. If you're spending time calling old expires, you really should be buckling down on just getting into some just listed and just solds.
Okay.
Really, it's the same type. It's the same type of call, and less people are calling, and you don't have to open up with, "Hey, I was calling about the home you were selling." You're opening up with, "Hey, a home just sold right down the street. I was calling to see if there's anything that I can do to help you." So it's more of a relevant call. It's not like a year and a half ago call, you know.
No, and I can call around my listing I just sold last month.
And listen, great. Forget about just your listing though. It doesn't need to be just your listing. It doesn't matter if you sold it. What I want you to do is just like before, I want you to find a couple of properties that a couple of top realtors. Let's think about this. Most top agents, not the ones that are selling $30 million properties, not the ones that are selling 50, the multi-million, the ones that are consistently closing a lot of deals, right? A lot of units.
Correct.
Those guys do not have time to be hitting the phones, right?
Right.
So guess what? All of their closed deals, you can call around those guys because they're not. So you can find the guys who are doing 50, 100, 150 deals, right? In the areas that you want to sell property in. They're doing a lot of units. They're too busy. They may hire somebody to do calls for them, but they're too busy to be calling on their own.
Yeah, they're not calling.
So why not find property they just sold last week,
Okay.
pull a list around it, do some just sold calls. I'm serious. Because right now, when a neighbor sees a house sell and they see how much it sold for and how fast it sold, they're thinking
All right.
about selling theirs too. Right now. Just right now. It could be different later, but right now there's a lot of these guys that are ready to sell because they know that right now it's the height of the market and it may not last that long. So a lot of people who are going to sell, they're finally okay, well maybe we should just do it, honey. Honey, maybe we should do it now. Maybe now, and then you call and say, "Hey, the home just sold down the road for this. Have you guys been considering doing anything yourself?" And if you make enough of those calls and have enough of those conversations, you're going to get people who are thinking about doing something.
No, I agree.
And
I
you, but
agree. That's the way.
because
That's
right,
the way. I have to go a different direction because the expireds are they're little or none, or as you said earlier.
and
Some
at first I was like, well, it's geo leads. That's the long game, because that's how it was. But right now it's different. You're gonna find deals now when you do these geo leads. Um,
I
and
know an agent's been doing it recently, and she's been very successful in getting. She just goes in person, but I want to actually have a listing appointment so I can bring my business partner along.
okay, well, great. I'm glad what you want to do. But if all they want to do is have a phone call or a Zoom, that's what you're gonna do,
Absolutely,
right?
we can do
If
that.
they don't want to do a face to face, if they because you want to bring your partner out, so what? It's not up to you. It's a matter of what they're comfortable doing. It's a matter of
Okay,
what you need to do to be able to get that listing agreement. It's their show, not yours, right? So
absolutely.
if you're get your partner on the Zoom with you if that's what it takes. Or if you're doing
She'll
all the
come on.
work and your partner can't make it, guess what? That's your commission. Why does your partner have to be involved?
She doesn't have to be involved.
So let's start thinking about just basic stuff. And before we start thinking about commissions, let's think about these strategies, what we can do to get you more opportunities to actually list. So we're thinking outside the box, and that means the just listed, the just solds, but not just any just listed, just solds. Strategic ones from realtors who are closing too many deals to prospect themselves.
I'm gonna write that down. Yeah.
So you want to not so like when you're pulling these listings, like because a year ago when I was pulling geo leads, I would just pull any listing, right? Not I
Right.
would just an area. Oh, there's a listing, great, let's pull around there. But I thought about it, I was like, well, why don't we pull the ones of the realtors who are probably too busy to call themselves, who probably are just waiting for the referrals, waiting for the business to come to them, because it will for those guys. But you're not there yet. We're not there yet. We have to go after it,
No.
and we may never
No.
be there, and that's okay. We can call right around a listing that just sold on that same street, and there will be at least two or three who will be open to selling in the next 6 months. And you do that every day consistently for a couple of months, and you're going to have a pipeline full of stuff that you can continue to do. Um, but you have to believe it will work, just like the expires and the FISBOs. And the reason why those would work is because you saw it work once, and you're like, okay, I'm starting to believe in it. And you started getting good at it, started getting better at it, and that's what you got comfortable with. It can be the same with any target, Neil. You know,
Right.
and I'm finding
Right.
that myself. I can be just as good as I was with expireds as I now with geos, for rent by owners. I can bring that same confidence and that same level of service as I was doing with expireds and for sale by owners. And I know you
Yeah.
probably can too.
Yeah.
That's why I'm sharing that with you.
How do you handle the reflex no when they say they don't want to sell? You just go on to another person.
Oh, we're not selling. Oh, okay, great. Well, if you were to sell in the future, do you have a realtor you would work with?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that's your stand down. Okay, you don't want to sell. I can't make you sell. Well, if
No.
you were to in the future, do you have somebody you would work with already? Okay, so now you're backing down, so you're going more for a follow up, the database, right? Okay, well,
Right.
would it be okay just to keep you updated with things that are happening in the neighborhood? Well, once, man, I'm not, just going to send you some info as it pops up in the area, in the neighborhood. Be a resource, and if you need anything at all, feel free to reach out. I'm available. Okay, and that's if they say they don't have somebody. If they say they have somebody, okay, well,
Just move on.
yeah, just feel free to reach out if you need any help at all. Have a good day. And leave it at
Right.
that.
Right.
Um, because even the database ones, even if they never sell or 5 years, 10 years, let's say, but if they're getting emails from you, um, and then their cousin or their sister or their brother or their neighbor asks for a realtor, you may get a referral out of it. You may not, but you might. Who knows?
Yeah. Yes.
Um, well, I'm thinking more big picture now. Yeah, we're going to get some deals now, but you have to think big picture. And when I'm saying big picture, yeah, yes, we want everybody wants to get that listing appointment for Friday and have that agreement Friday night and have it listed on Sunday. But
Right.
it doesn't work like that always. That's rare these days, you know.
Right.
Um, However, once you find somebody who wants to sell, and if they're willing to look at the numbers, usually they're going to make a decision quicker than what they say. If they say 90 days, usually if the numbers make sense, they're probably going to move forward with that now. If you can get them to take a look, right? That's the key
Right.
thing.
Right.
Being able to having them have an open mind and actually looking at the numbers instead of just going through the motions and maybe wasting your time and just wasting their time. Um, you kind of got to
That's
give.
that's very true. Yeah, I had a lead follow up. I've been following up for months, and then she tells me it's a $2 million property. I've been filling out. I call her up. She's on my drip program. She knows who I am. I've been calling her regularly. No, I'm not ready. I want to get the vaccine, so on and so on. Vaccine comes. Guess what? She has a realtor.
Right. Somebody else got it.
Someone else got it, and she says she feels comfortable. I asked that guy the other day. He said that he wouldn't list with anybody over the phone he didn't know.
Well, it is what it is.
I can't do anything about it.
Well, I guess whoever that was, they must have went in with the friends and family effect. Maybe they felt like they knew him. Maybe they dropped the professionalism down a little bit, and maybe they just talk to him like friends and family. Sometimes that's what it takes.
That's true. That's true.
Sometimes that's what I mean. Most of my calls, like I'm talking to them like I've known them for years. Um, those are the type of calls that I feel I can tell from the beginning that it's probably going to be a listing. Um, so let's get back on track here. So
I did that with a first time
um,
buy owner, so that worked. I think my strong point is if I can get into a conversation with them, Jeremy,
yeah,
that helps. If I'm just following a guidelines, trying to get them to list or not list, that's where maybe I don't come across sincere.
okay. Well, you also don't want to be too sincere because you get to be too sincere sometimes, and you forget the reason why you're calling.
Oh, no, I know the reason I'm calling.
Yeah.
The reason is I'm calling is because I want to obviously be the realtor and represent them and sell their place and get them another place.
So where are you getting your geo leads right now? If you were to pull a geo lead list.
I have it through Vulcan has they have the GeoLead, but it only has one phone number.
Okay. You don't have the
Mojo,
you don't have the enhanced search. You have the basic search.
I'm going to get it through
The Vulcan 7 search is really expensive from what I hear.
Mojo is $49.
I understand. You just said Vulcan, so that's what I was talking about.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Okay. Vulcan is 40. It's free. They give you one phone number.
Well, that's for the basic, but they have an actual search that's like $400 a month.
Yeah, it's like 200. No, it's like $200 to $300.
Right. That's the search that you want. The basic search is crap.
No, I'm going to go through Mojo. They have the enhanced search on it.
Didn't we talk about doing that months ago? You didn't do that?
What's it called?
Right. But when it expired,
Skip Tracer.
you were going to be getting anyhow. So you didn't get it yet.
No, I haven't got it yet.
Okay. Well, you should get on that for sure. I mean,
guess
especially if you're
yeah.
calling out of you're calling out of Mojo, right?
Yes, I'm calling out of Mojo.
So you want to be all in one, Neil. You want to try to
Yes.
be all inclusive if you can,
Absolutely.
Instead of being, because I remember last time we talked, we went through your stuff. You were over here, you over there. You want to try to simplify what you're doing. You don't need to have this, and that. Mojo has everything you need. RedX has everything you need. Vulcan has everything you need. You just stick with one. Talk to me about. Let's see here. What time of day are you normally calling?
Um, 8 a.m. Then I have a break at 9. I have a marketing meeting with my company every day, and I need to stop that because it inhibits my calling. Between 9 and 9:30.
What do they cover in this meeting?
It's marketing.
What type of marketing?
What's going on. It's basically I should just not be on it.
Your
How's that? You
like
want me to make it honest with you?
the marketing that you're doing is all built into it's a Mojo. Like it don't need to be on a Zoom somewhere. Like that's not we don't need that. Like you can get that replay. Watch it later. Or
There's no replay. There's no replay. And then Tuesday's usually the office meeting. I go to the office meeting, but I think I'm not even going to go to the office meeting anymore. I need 8 to
listen,
about
Neil,
11.
if you got that feeling that you're probably wasting your time doing that crap, don't do it. You already know the answer. Stop that crap now. Take it off your calendar.
I am.
You know, because if you know that you should be doing something else, like calling, then
Right.
be doing something else. Be calling. Though that's prime time. 9 a.m. is prime time. You know, right before the people that stay home or work from home, they're right before they get ready to go out and get some groceries and stuff. They're at home. They're moving around. You know, that's a perfect time between like 8 and like 11. You know. Um,
8-11, and
now,
I call the evening off.
hold on. Even though because now the thing is though, what I've noticed is that now that there's not as many expires and we're doing more geo leads, some of our theories with times are going to change a little bit though as well. So keep that in mind because now that there's not as many expires, which was the reason to be calling it 8 a.m. right? So you want to save some of your juice sometimes for later in the day because from some of these geo leads, the prime time is going to be between 6 and 8 at night. At night. So I'm calling in the morning still, just like you, but I'm taking a pretty decent break in the middle of the day and closing out the day usually between, making sure I have that PM calling time in. Because
Yes, and I agree. I like the PM. A lot of times it works very well. The morning, it has to be. On the weekend, on Saturday and Sunday, I'll call later. Sunday I call like 10. I don't call at 9. I
no,
call at 10, and
well,
then on Saturday it's 9.
it's whatever works. But listen, now that we're going to be changing things up a little bit and starting to focus more time on different targets,
Right.
the time frames that you were using before may be switching up. So you might need to be flexible and trying different
I
times.
am. I'm flexible.
That's all I'm saying. Is that now that we're going to start trying different things, you may need to try at different times to be able to make sure we're having enough contacts to bring those contacts up. Is what I'm getting at. You know. Um, so just be prepared if you're going to be trying different targets and focusing more time on different targets to be ready to kind of be flexible with your times a little bit more. You know. My thought is to be able to give you as many contacts as possible and talk to as many people as possible, right?
Absolutely. Talk to a whole bunch of people and go forward.
But that doesn't mean you have to be calling for 6 to 8 hours a day. I mean, you can get this done in 3 to 5, 2 to 3 sometimes. You know, sometimes it just depends on how your day is going. But you need to make sure that you're focusing enough time. I know you are. But now that for me myself that I'm doing geo leads, I've noticed that I'm having more contact at different times of the day, and sometimes it's not first thing in the morning. You know.
No, I try to get the new expireds, and then I don't really call the for sale by owners that often because I don't know, they're just not my cup of tea. It never happened.
Well, for instance, in Carl's campaign, I had 2 expires today. Like, there's barely anything. So
Yeah,
what I'm getting at is like I'm done with expires in like 5 minutes. So
Right.
now I'm bouncing to something else. So
You were for rent by owner, and then you were calling around I
listing.
saw the video.
Yeah,
You were
yeah. I was calling.
around.
I'm doing a couple
So-
different. I'm calling around a few listings right now. Fairfax, like it's a 2.8 or something like that. And then there's a
Nice.
couple of multifamilies or something. And then there's a couple of other ones. But we're mostly doing geo leads right now with Carl. And in Sonoma County up north in the Bay Area, mostly we're doing the same thing, but we're also busting out those foreclosures, which means PM hours. But it's mostly geo leads. Not a lot of expires. Some for rent by owners. But we're gonna try to be finding a good source for divorce leads, which is why I asked you when we get off this call to send me the information for your source for divorce leads. You said you have a source, right?
Yeah, it's not very accurate, but I can say it.
Okay. Well, if it's not very accurate, I don't know about that.
They don't give too much information. They give no phone numbers, nothing like that.
Well, but you know they're getting a divorce, right? That's all you know.
Yeah, that's all I know. It's just like probate leads too, you know.
Well, sometimes that's all you need. You just kind of need to know what direction to go with it and make enough calls, and then, well, that's fine. I would like to be able to at least get that source and be able to contact them, at least to have a conversation.
It's called Rebo Gateway.
Okay. When we get done, maybe you can just shoot me an email.
I'll send you an email.
Yep. Okay. Let's see here. So you have been tuning into my sessions.
Yeah, I always enjoy your. You always have very interesting calls.
Yeah, it's good to be back, man. Anyhow, what questions do you have for me? Anything specific problems you're running into that I can help you with?
Well, the
Anything
problems.
anything you would like to accomplish on this call before we wrap it up?
Yeah. Well, obviously, I've been focusing my energy in the wrong area.
I think so.
And, okay, and I know so. And I was getting. It's been very frustrating for the last month and a half, calling these people and not getting any place. I get through like 2 seconds of talking to them, and they hang up, or they just say, and I'm not the only one. There's many out there. The geo leads, the for rent by owners, the investors. I work well with those. Those are easy to work with because there's not. I guess it's a different mindset.
It is.
Because you're calling somebody to help them instead of calling somebody who really had a disaster ending. If you think about the expireds or cancels, they were all excited about selling their house and they didn't sell it.
Right. They're pissed
And
off.
now the geo leads and the circle prospecting, they're basically you're helping them instead of they're not coming to you. You're not calling them after they had a bad experience.
Right. You're not chasing the ambulance.
That's right. And the for sale by owners,
It is what it is. I mean, that's just what it is. So what, right?
well, I think my mindset would be different with them.
No, totally. Right. It's a different call. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's good guidelines for chatting with them. I know that you used Brandon's for rent by owner and before his you had on power prospecting. So he has scripts for that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You know me. Like, there may have been a script months ago, but I'm just talking to these people now.
Yeah, I know. I saw our friend today. He had a nice little 8-minute video helping a student on Perino.
Yeah.
He did a new video helping a guy. And,
I saw that video.
Yeah, his mindset is true. You're there to help them. I only work with people that want to work with me. Not, it's the same thing. Why? Life's too short. As realtors and anybody, you have who you want to choose to who you want to work with.
Exactly. You don't have to sit. You don't have to sit there and take abuse from somebody for anything. Just move on to the next.
No, you just go on to the next person.
On to the next. Hashtag on to the next.
Or if they give you a hard time. But I think that the objections are not the difficult part. I think the prospects that I'm calling are the difficult.
Yeah, and because it comes down to timing. That same prospect could be in a completely different mindset 2 hours later or the next day.
Or the next call.
And it could be completely different. So
Yeah.
that's why it's the sales and marketing game will just always keep going. It's all just got to keep going. It's just timing and numbers. You just got to keep pushing and keep dialing and just get better and just do it more targeted and be smart about it. So that's really what the main objective of this call is, just to get the mindset thinking a little bit differently, to understand that maybe the way we were doing things successfully for so long just isn't going to work right now as well. So let's do something else that will work as well, work better, right?
Yeah, I have a.
And so that's all it is just trying different things and getting better at that, man. And that's what I'm doing. So and then when we start, that's really what we should be digging in on, is these geo leads. We should really be digging on getting better at these, at what is available now, not really focusing on what we don't have, right?
Right. No, I agree. I have an agent who cold calls out of Florida, and she just does geo leads, and she doesn't even look where it's listed or not or sold. She just calls and say, "Hi, this is so and so. Are you thinking about selling now or in the near future?"
Yeah. You say that 500 times in a day, you're going to get some leads.
Yeah, and she got a listing today.
Exactly. All you got, just keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, it's not that thing.
Hey, it's Jeremy. I work with a local realtor. A home just sold right down the road. Are you considering selling anytime soon?
Yep.
Shut up.
That's it.
So they're going to say yes. They're going to say no, most likely.
Yeah.
Or they're going to be like, well, and they're going to think about it. And that's how you know that they're probably thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's simple, and it's a numbers game. Like if you the pitches that like you, so I do it all the time. I overcomplicate crap, you know. And I sometimes I'm like, Jeremy, just shut up. And when I do, I'm like, then everything goes smoothly, you know. And you just slow
Right.
things, you just simplify stuff because we overcomplicate things all the time. I know I do. um,
I have that personality. I overanalyze things, and I really
they don't need to know all that.
Well, the thing is that I'm trying to put my energy in different areas instead of, and I have to. I mean, you have to go with the time. If it's not working in one area, you got to move someplace else. And right now,
Exactly.
the interesting part is I look at the listings that are going to under contract and the new listings that come on the market. And today it was even. There was so many listings, new listings, and how many in contract. So it was like really no increase in listings.
Right. The inventory standing still, or it's probably decreasing.
Yeah, it's decreasing. There's not that many there. As you can
So
see, I think I had.
it's
I
like
had 6 today.
it's like my old saying goes, man. We can't wait. We have to create. You know, you sit back and wait, nothing's going to happen. You have to go out and get it, and that's what we have to do here.
Yep. That's
So,
very true.
yep. So, talk to me about what your goals are for the next week. For the rest of this week, let's just talk about the rest of this week.
This week.
Well, actually, we're going to be meeting next Tuesday. So, talk about what you want to do between now and Tuesday on the phones.
I'm going to call the new expireds, and when they're done, I'll get onto the geo leads and keep on calling the geo leads. And also, the geo leads also will focus also in calling, also including for rent by owners, and also
Do you have for rent by owners?
for rent by owners.
Do you have those already?
I have them. Yeah, they come with Vulcan.
You have Vulcan. Okay, so are they also experiencing the hot pads issues?
Yes, I don't know if you know or when they say the call is being recorded,
Right.
that's hot pads.
I understand. That's what I'm asking you. Are they also experiencing the same issue?
Yes, I got a whole bunch. I used a different number, one of my Google numbers, and I got about 12 calls.
Okay. My question is, what's the percentage of hot pads versus actual for written by owner leads?
Not good.
Tell me the actual number. I'm trying to get some facts here. Like, just give
Uh,
me a number. 50%, 60%,
I would
30%.
say about 80% is hot pads.
Wow. Okay. So
It could have been just that day.
So yeah, I would say overall it's about 65% with Red X. But I would also say that it's worth going through those craps and deleting them to be able to find a few, you know. But the problem is there's only so many, because once you go through them, you go through them.
I heard your call of the lady who wants to sell her portfolio. That was a nice call.
Oh yeah, she's gonna do 5 right now. I think she has other ones, but we're looking at 5 of them right now. Oh, I'm not. They
Nice.
are. But it's gonna be about 4 million in volume with that one call.
That's a nice return of your time calling.
I know, right? I just
That's
three. But see, 3 minutes of conversation, but there was much more time calling that went into that session. You know. Now,
that's the thing,
now
you know,
but to get $4 million in volume for a 3-minute call, yeah, that may not be fair, but that's how it works. If you make the work, if you put it in, you
until we
do
get a
the.
signature, until we sell the property, we don't have anything.
Yeah, we don't got shit. All we have is somebody we're talking to, and we just have a lead, and it's nothing. And really, it's nothing because once it's off my plate, I forget about it. Like I move on to the next. I don't have to do anything because that's not my job, you know.
That's true. Do you want me to send you recordings of my geo leads or anything like that?
Yeah, how about you do that? How about send me? Don't worry. Are you able to download it and just send me the MP3, or how do you want to do it?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, yeah. Then just send me as many as you want, and then between now and next Tuesday, I'll listen to them and I'll have feedback for you.
Okay, that sounds So I'm gonna call the geo leads and the for rent by owners.
And then over time, over the next few days, if you have any good calls or bad calls that you want me to listen to, send those over too.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Geo leads. Yeah, I'm gonna order the geo leads today and so I can get going with the one from Vulcan is that strip down is a waste of time.
And then when you pull these geo leads, let's talk before you do it, because like I said, what you want to do is, and be realistic. You don't necessarily need to start pulling properties in $5 million neighborhoods, right? Let's focus on areas where you can get transactions. It's something you can get going quickly and get some deals in. And what I would do is I would find listings that are listed and just closed of realtors who you're thinking are probably too busy or just won't be prospecting, right?
I know who they are.
You already know who they are. So let's pick those guys off. Let's pick off listings around their listings. Why not? Somebody has to.
Right. They're not going to call.
Those people are going to list with somebody. So who's going to talk to them? Who's going to get the listing? Is it going to be Neil or is it going to be Joe Schmo?
Neil.
Is it going to be Carl? Maybe it's going to be Carl. Who knows?
Oh yeah, it could be. It could be Carl or Jeremy. So
yeah, man. I just thought of that idea because Tommy, my guy up in Sonoma.
Yeah, I hear you were making some calls for him the other day.
Yeah, him and his partner hired me on. I decided to join in with them. So what was I gonna say? Shit, what was I going with that? What were we saying?
You were talking about Tommy.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't know where I didn't get anything else.
Anyways, if it comes back to me, which means it's not important. If it does, I'll let you know.
Okay.
So let's see here. So you're gonna get the geo leads.
My honors.
What is your goal? What is your goal for contacts, for daily contacts, conversations?
I'd like to get at least today's. It's not going to be there. But
No.
200.
Starting Wednesday, how many contacts would you like to have every day?
Well, contacts are like at least 20.
20 contacts, and then how many appointments are you looking to set out of that?
I would say at least one.
Okay, let's have a goal of 2 for this week between now and Tuesday.
Yeah, 20 actual people I talk to are not people who hang up on me.
Conversations, right? Real estate conversations.
That's right.
More than just a high or a buy. When it's an actual real estate conversation, not a wrong number.
A wrong number.
Right. If you start talking about real estate, that's a real estate conversation.
Yeah.
I know for myself, and the numbers are getting a little bit better right now. But every 5 conversations or contacts is an appointment.
Yep. No, you're
Now,
really
a couple people are going to say not interested. One's going to be a nurture, and there's going to be a couple of appointments. Not every 5, but the average, I would say it's and I'm shooting. That's sometimes it's more. Sometimes it's every 7 or 8 conversations, but still, it's I've gotten to a point where I just don't spend time on stuff that's not going to go anywhere. I've really simplified everything, kind of like you said with the gal. I don't say stuff that it doesn't need to be said anymore. I keep it real short, and I'm really just trying to keep it very assertive and to the point with stuff. And it seems to be coming over. That style seems to be working well in these 2 markets that I'm in right now.
Yeah, it seems that if you're direct and you ask questions and make sure. I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but I just say being direct is more because they want to be direct because they get so many calls. And I can tell you as a realtor, I have a client I've been looking for a while, and I can tell you the professionalism of their photos and the descriptions are terrible.
Right. Yeah.
They're just
well, a lot of them just don't care right now because they think that anything's just going to sell, but because it's true. So they're just throwing it on the MLS and reducing their investment on their marketing because they think it's going to sell, which it is, but they just don't care right now. It's lazy.
No. I have a friend who sold he had a house in North Hills, which is near Northridge in California,
right.
San Fernando Valley. Long story short, he had 60 showings the weekend of the first week of the listing. He sold it for $130,000 over list price.
Nice.
A cash offer, no appraisal.
There you go.
In 10 days.
Yeah, man. But here's the thing, stuff happening like that, and what I see is like it's nothing special for this. I mean, this is just how the market is right now. But a lot of realtors are marketing it like they're doing something extraordinarily special, but they're really not. It's just how the market is right now. It's kind of funny.
No, that's the thing. So I'll start sending you stuff, and
Yeah,
4:30 on Tuesday's fine with me.
yeah. We'll talk in between. I'm sure. Let me know if you need anything. Don't worry about if you want. We can get the Power Prospecting Pros going again. If you want to post in there, you can. You're not required to right now. Right now, it's just
Okay.
you and me working together. Don't worry about anybody else. I'm going to be building it back up again, but it's just you and I working together. The whole group thing probably wasn't the best idea. I just want to keep it you and I. And if I work with other agents, it's going to be just me and them for now, at least.
Yeah, probably a good choice. Yeah,
Okay.
I think the group works for a while, but then
Yeah, I mean, it was a little too soon to go that route. I feel so. It is what it is.
okay, yeah, perfect.
Let me know if you need any help. Check out, so we're back rocking and rolling every Tuesday, and anything in between, just let me know, Neil.
I appreciate it, Jeremy. Thanks for the call.
All right, buddy.
Thanks.
Hey,
All right, bye-bye.
hit those phones hard.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Take care. All right, guys. So that's Neil Singerman with Rodeo Realty in Beverly Hills. He has been in the real estate game for quite some time. He's making his return. Shout out to Neil. Good job hitting those phones hard while I had a little break. Neil, we'll see you next Tuesday. The rest of you guys, if you're interested in the training program and you want some details on that, join the group or shoot me a DM or hop on my calendar and we'll have a consultation. I'm Jeremy Marquez with jmarqeting, Power Prospecting, Training, Consulting, and Coaching.